Hi and welcome to tonight's tutorial and Happy New Year to everybody. I hope you all had a lovely kind of Christmas holiday break and a fabulous new year. And here we are in 2022. Um, so tonight I'm going to show you how to create this fabulous style that I actually did. I created it for so let me check I've got my microphone on today. Yeah. So I created this style for a bride on Christmas Eve, actually. And it's a gorgeous kind of textured updo, but it's all kind of, it looks really soft and relaxed, but it is very secure. So I'm Pam Wrigley and I'm a bridal hairstylist, and I do my tutorials live here on YouTube, and I also have an e-learning site. So if you find you want to get kind of a bit more in-depth information and more kind of extended learning, you can join me on my e-learning course, and there's information in the bio about our online bridal hair course. If you're thinking about becoming a bridal hairstylist, maybe looking to start a new career in 2022, then you've come to the right place. And as I say, you can join me here on YouTube each week, but I do have a much more in-depth online bridal hair course. So if you want more information, just get in touch. We actually have a 50% off offer on at the moment as a New Year special, so don't wait too long. If you have any questions about tonight's style, or it could be anything to do with bridal hair, please just pop a message in the chat box and I will do my best to keep an eye on my chat box tonight, and I will be able to answer your question as we go along. So I'll tell you a little bit about tonight's hairstyle. I have done some hair prep and it is a high bun. So I've actually created here a ponytail high on the crown, and I've curled the hair. I curled it all, used my Stronghold hairspray because I want to get a really strong, almost kind of crispy feeling kind of curl. And what I've done at the front here as well, the hair at the front of this hairband, is I've just kind of loosened it just a little bit because I don't want it to look like the hair is being pulled tight into the hairband. You don't need to loosen it at the back because all this hair here is going to, let me turn her around, all the hair at the back here is going to be covered by the hair at the front. But particularly for my lady today, who's opting for a centre part, I might not be bringing the hair back. So I want this to all look soft the way it's going into the ponytail here. So nothing looks severe or pulled back too tight. It's all soft and relaxed and gorgeous. Right, now we're going to use, so I have done a little bit of hair prep here, as you can see, with our lovely strong curls, and I'm going to use a little bit of padding. And basically, what I've done with the padding, to create the padding, you can use that kind of Afro kinky hair, and that is really good. It makes a really soft kind of pad for the hair. And we do have a tutorial showing a high textured bun, where I show you how to create the padding using the Afro kinky hair and a little bit of donut. But if you don't have any of that, don't worry, you can just use a donut. So this is just a donut here that I've kind of cut. It was originally a donut and I've just cut it in half and kind of unravel it. And then all you need to do once you've unraveled it is basically just roll it up again, roll it all up, kind of, so you get this. So you're using the padding, you're still using the donut, but you're just going to roll it up in a very different way. So I get this nice little kind of spongy kind of pad that we can use to secure the well, to create the hairstyle, I should say. And this is our padding. This is our kind of foundation for the style. So it's going to make sure, we want to make sure that everything, that our styles, especially for somebody's wedding day, we need to make sure that the styles are super secure and they're not going to fall down anywhere. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to push the hair forward, push that ponytail forwards, and just pop that padding. It's going on top of the hairband. And then we're going to secure. Let's just use and we've got the hairband going in there, so I think we'll be okay to do our up and over and go underneath that hairband. And as I say, if you're not sure exactly what I'm doing and how I'm securing this piece of padding, then we do have, let me just get the correct hairpins here. That's it. We want the strong hairpins. When you're securing the padding to the hair here, we need nice strong pins. And if you're not sure, it's hard when I'm doing the live tutorials. It's hard because we can't kind of zoom in and show you exactly what I'm doing step by step. But you can find all of this information and lots more close-up shots on our e-learning site. So here we go. We've got our donuts, our padding, I should say, created from the donut, nice and secure on top of the ponytail. And then we're just going to use these strong curls. And the hair is kind of crispy. But what I've realized is this kind of hair prep with creating these kind of lovely, chunky, crispy curls is a great way to get texture into the hair without having to crimp the hair. And you're just going to loosen those curls. Good evening, Louisa. And we're just going to loosen these curls. You might want to just prop that in position and just start loosening it. You can get it as loose and as kind of textured as you like. And we're just going to secure that curl to the padding, and that is it. It's that easy. And then normally what I would do, but I'm not going to worry too much about this tonight because it does take quite a while. Normally what I would do is I would check as I'm going along, check everything in the mirror to make sure you're kind of happy with the front of this style and to make sure that it all looks kind of gorgeous and textured and the shape is just how you like it and the height is how you like it as well. But just for the purposes of today's tutorial, you can see I've got this piece coming in this direction, the other one coming back. So it kind of already looks like there's a bit of movement going in there. But just for the purposes of tonight's tutorial, I'm not going to spend too long making sure it's all kind of perfect from the front, because usually I would allow, a good kind of hour, good 45 minutes at least. Ideally an hour. Maybe if you're just starting and you haven't created it before, you want to allow yourself maybe a good hour to create this style. And I don't want to keep that long tonight. So I am just going to show you kind of a quick version of the style. So it might not be perfect, but it's kind of showing you the technique. So bring the hair up to the padding. You can use your up and over. So I'm picking up a bit of donut. I know you can't see it, but trust me, you can definitely see it on our e-learning site. Picking up a bit of donut with a strong hairpin, going over that piece of hair. Do my up and over and back in. And it doesn't move anywhere. Then just have a look at the curl. Twist, pull, loosen. You could use a little bit, if she's got kind of dry hair, the ends of this dollar are quite dry and a little bit brittle, but I'm going to actually pin them away. But you could use a little bit of spray wax. You could use a bit more hairspray if you feel you need it, and just create your lovely textured bun. Let's check our questions. Okay, sorry, just let me put my glasses on. Getting older, but that's good. Let's have a look. Not to comb the yeah, don't comb through the curls. Okay, sorry, Louisa. And so the questions are, Louisa just wants me to do a quick recap of what I've done so far. And then also, I've been asked whether or not we comb through the curls. No, don't comb through the curls. You actually want to get the shape of this, use the shape that you've got so far from this kind of texture and use that as part of the style. So Louisa, what I've done so far is a little bit of hair prep, and the hair prep is my kind of super speedy texture hair prep technique. I used to kind of crimp the hair um, with lots of, I blow dry, get some mousse and some salt spray, blow dry the hair, then crimp the hair, then pin curl the hair. But it can take a long time, and when you've got lots of brides, lots of bridesmaids, you've got the bride, you've got lots of weddings kind of one after the other, really you need to kind of use your time efficiently. And I found that actually this technique works just as well as crimping, if not better actually, and it's so much quicker. So your client can wash her hair that day, so it's fine if your client has clean hair. What you don't want, it's very, very hard. In fact, I'd say it's practically impossible to create these lovely textured styles on greasy hair. So it's far better that your client washes, if she's used to washing her hair every day, then she can wash it on the day of the wedding. It's really not a problem. Because the product that we're going to put on, if you see what I'm doing here, I'm just bringing this curl up, taking it up to the donut, loosening a little bit, and then I'm going to secure the hair here. So yeah, the product that we're going to put on the hair is going to give us that lovely texture, and it doesn't matter if the hair's soft and silky when you begin, because it won't be when you finish. So what you need to do, so you could work with clean hair. I mean, ideally, they may have washed their hair the day before, but if somebody's used to washing their hair every day, the last thing really they want on their wedding day is to feel that their hair is dirty. I know in the past it used to be recommended that you would ask people to have dirty hair, but it's really, that works if somebody washes their hair maybe once, maximum maybe twice a week. So the hair actually isn't greasy. It might just have a little bit of that natural kind of grittiness to it, but it's not greasy. Greasy hair is impossible to style. You can shove a load of dry shampoo in it, but it just makes the hair, gets all on your fingers. It kind of makes everything really difficult to work with. So I would rather work with squeaky clean hair, put some mousse in it, blow a quick, very quick blow dry, then curl the hair with your tongs and use a stronghold hairspray, something like your L'Oreal Infinium, and you're using the hairspray on each section before you curl. Now here I'm just going to prop this curl up because I want it to fill that gap there. Don't worry about all these little bits sticking out. If it was her wedding, I'd make sure that as I go along, I'm pinning any kind of dry bits away. So, but just for the purpose of the tutorial, sorry, where was I up to then? So then you're going to use your hairspray and your tongs and curl the hair. And for this style, you can do quite big, chunky curls. So you can see I haven't done a lot of little kind of curls. We've got a few big, chunky curls. And this practice head actually has quite a lot of hair. And I probably did maybe 8 big curls over the whole head. So you don't want lots of little curls. You want a few kind of big, chunky curls. So we're going to bring this up, a little bit of texture, and because it's got all this gorgeous hairspray on it that's almost been baked into the hair with the tongs. Whoops. When you separate the hair, you get this lovely kind of piecey effect. But just be careful. I remember we had a question on one of our tutorials. We're using the up and over, securing that to the padding. we had a question on one of the tutorials about these pieces styles, and uh, one of our students was asking me about, she was saying that, I'm just going to try and tame some of these little broken bits of hair down. We're using a strong hold hairspray, the Infinium. I could use the a spray wax. But yeah, she was asking me, when she creates the textured styles, the hair goes all fly away and a little bit fluffy instead of textured. So if you're having that problem, just maybe be a little bit more generous with your mousse when you do your hair prep, and also with the hairspray when you're curling the hair. And then the next step, if you're still finding that it's getting a little bit fly away and fluffy rather than textured, when you're kind of pulling out the piecey bits in the hair, try not to pull little tiny bits, because then you're just maybe getting one or two bits of hair, and you want to get a little bit more. You need to get a couple of strands of hair. So with this, all this texture, it kind of holds together when you loosen it and pull it out. And that's what you want. So if you too kind of get lots of minute little pieces of hair, so I'm just getting a bobby pin here. If you get too many small, minute pieces of hair as you're pulling and loosening and creating this texture, then it ends up it can end up looking a bit fluffy and fly away, and that's not the look that we're going for. So just be careful. Whoops. Let's just, now I don't want to pull my finger through the curl. Actually, I nearly did then, but that's not what I want to do. I just want to kind of loosen this bit coming up to the hair at the back. So I'm doing it this quickly, so you get an idea of what to do. Now, if that, you don't want this final piece to be too short, so you can actually secure it just underneath that padding if it doesn't go all the way up to the padding. Then I'm going to separate that, secure it. You know, I would recommend taking your time when you create this style. That's it, and just secure that at the end so it becomes a little, you can see we're kind of getting there. I'm using a mirror just off camera here, so I can kind of see what I'm doing from an angle, and also you can see what you're doing from a bit of a distance is perhaps what I should say. And it also helps because it means your client can see what you're doing and she can give you feedback as you go along. Let me just bring this back with a little twist. Now, normally I would have lovely little soft bits down here. You know, so if your practice head has got a few layers in, great, you can do that, but don't worry too much if you haven't. You can pull a few little bits out if you want to. Or what might be good is to leave those little pieces, a few little pieces sections out if you're working on your practice head. You could always leave a few little pieces sections out, or just pull them out at this stage before you pin everything up. You know, you could leave them out before you curl. What I would say, if you're working with a client, you can see what I'm doing. I'm just kind of following where the curl is taking me. So I'm not having any kind of pre-planned kind of, I haven't decided exactly where I want each piece of hair to go. You just kind of look at the direction that the curl is leading you in. And as long as you kind of loosen it out nicely and try and keep an eye on the whole style, I should say on the style as a whole in the mirror, then you should find that, you know, you've got plenty of hair and you can get a lovely shape as you go along, and you can get feedback from your clients as well. And as I say, you can leave little bits down at the front. Let me just check our questions again. You could use heated rollers for this. Sorry, I've just been asked if I could use heated rollers for this style. You can definitely use heated rollers for this style, although what you would probably get is a more traditional kind of smoother looking style, because if you use a lot of stronghold hairspray on the hair, you might find, unless your heated rollers are really hot, there isn't kind of enough oomph in them to get this really kind of strong curl. But you can. I've done this style plenty of times with heated rollers actually, and you achieve more of a kind of smooth, kind of high bun. Heated rollers are fabulous because you get this kind of root lift and volume in the hair, and they're great when you kind of first, when I first started to learn how to create hairstyles, we were just taught with heated rollers. And you will get that lovely kind of more traditional high kind of bun that almost look like barrel curls rather than these lovely kind of textured messy curls. But you can definitely do it. It's just a case of getting the curls, getting the foundation, then curling the hair, and you'd curl the hair, pop a few rollers into the ponytail, set the rollers around the edge, and then take out the rollers in the ponytail, pop your padding on, and then as you go along, just take out each roller and create the style. But yeah, you definitely can use heated rollers. Oh, she's looking good to say. I'm doing it very, very quickly. And then we're going to bring this back. You could put a little twist in it. You could leave a few little bits down if you wanted to. Actually, what I was going to say, see, they're just too long, I think. But if you are going to leave a few little bits down and you've curled all the hair, you might find it helpful to recurl them, maybe with the straighteners or with the tongs, so you can control the direction of the bits down. You can control the direction of the curl for the little bits that are down. Now, let's have just a quick look at the front, because I just want to try and show you something here that I didn't do before. You can use these front sections here to adapt the style to suit your client's face shape. So probably what I would do, I mean, I'd made a decision in advance to do a centre parting, but if I hadn't, I would have done, if I wasn't sure what I was going to do, I would have done a section of hair, would have got like a rollers with the hair here, and done a section coming backwards here, and again do two sections here and curl it coming back, and then do the side sections. And it's this front section here and the side sections that you use to adapt the hair to suit your client's face shape. So if, for example, your client shows you a style and everything's kind of pulled back really tight or quite tight, but if she's got kind of a big round face, that isn't going to suit her. So you can use these sections at the front here to adapt the style to suit your client's face shape. She might have big ears and she might want to cover her ears, so you might need to come down and back with the hair just at the side so it covers the ear, pin it, secure it, and then take the curl up. You can do that to cover big ears. If she's got a fat face, well, what we can do is let me just move that out of the way because it keeps coming down. What you can do is kind of, instead of, you don't want to pull it back tight because it's a bit unflattering, but what you can do is kind of extend the length of the face by lifting this hair up, not tight, but kind of lift it up, and it kind of just all goes up in this direction and makes everything look longer. It's like putting on a pair of high heels. It makes your legs look longer. Well, if you bring the hair up here, it kind of has this effect of making the face look longer. So if she's got kind of a wide face or a fat face, then you can just take the hair up at the side and it will just help to kind of make the style be more flattering for her. But that is where the mirror comes in. So you can get feedback from your client, ask her which bits of hair she wants down, which bits of hair she wants up, the direction of the hair. And our job as bridal hairstylists isn't just, you might think it's to recreate styles that people show you, but actually it is that. But more importantly, so I've got a wayward curl. That's it. It is. We are recreating styles that people show us on Instagram or wherever, Pinterest. But what we're also doing is adapting that style to suit that person. And that's where your mirror comes in very handy. And yeah, you can create not only the perfect style, but the perfect style for your clients, for each of your clients. Let's pin this in here. It's a very quick style I'm doing here for you today, but it's looking good though, gotta say, for what, a 10-15 minute style, I think. Oh, and a little bit longer today. Sorry about that, guys. I've been chatting away, I think, too much today. You can bring this back. And also another thing to think about here, lots of things to consider when you're creating these hairstyles. You also have to think about, some people, I mean, I have it for sure, a very fine bit of hair here on the temple. So you don't want to pull all the hair back and end up showing little patches of scalp. So you also need to kind of play with the hair so that, all those little bits are kind of disguised. So have a think about all these. There's a lot of things to think about when you're creating these bridal hairstyles. As I say, we're not just recreating styles we've seen on Pinterest. Use a bobby pin here. We need to adapt it to suit our client's hair type, face shape, her hairline, the size of her ears. Lots of things to think about. So, but don't feel that you have to do it all yourself, because we've got the mirror and you can get feedback. So don't feel and another thing is, don't feel when you first start learning, I think sometimes we feel we have to have all the answers when you first start doing a job. You first start working as a hairstylist. Somebody else might say to you, what do you think I should have? What style would you recommend? Well, you know what? It's a bit like going into a wedding dress shop and somebody just, you can come up with a style that might be right, but you have to get an idea of that person's likes and dislikes first of all, and you have to get an idea of their dress. And it's kind of, don't feel you have to just come up with an answer. Just ask lots of questions and find out what they like, what they don't like. And don't be afraid to say, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to create, what style I'm going to create. Sometimes I say, I'm just going to wait till I get my hands in your hair and see what your hair wants to do. So don't feel you always have to have an answer. It's okay to say, I'm not sure yet. There's a little space there. Sometimes you might find that, and sometimes it comes in handy. You might say, have you got any hair accessories? And then instead of having to really work to cover that little dip in the hair, it's a little ready-made spot for your hair accessory. If not, then you would have to cover that little area. So I'm just going to pop these in using the up and over technique. She's got a bit of a dip here. I don't know if you can see it there. There's a definite bit of a dip here. But this is the kind of thing that you come back to and you tweak and you correct and you make perfect. So that's our gorgeous style, and make sure you can see her there. Let's check our questions again. Good question. Well, I used a 25mm tong and 24-25. They're both about the same. And the veil, that's a good question, actually. I nearly brought a veil with me today. I might do that tomorrow, but I'll tell you what we could do instead. If we imagine that this is a veil here, because it's got a comb on, and most of the time the veils are on combs, and you're going to use your tail comb. Bear with me 1 second. My tail comb is just here. So you could put the veil, well, I would probably recommend putting it at the back, because if you put it at the front here, you could just slide that comb underneath the padding at the front here, the comb on the veil, but it would be very big. So she might prefer to have it at the back. So you would and then in which case you'd pop it kind of just here at the back. So I'm imagining that there's a veil on this comb here. I think we'll do veils next week, actually. That's a good question. That's a good point. we could pop the comb at the back there. You can, you could put it in the middle. I did have a bride who wanted this style, who wanted the veil right here, and she wasn't going to take the veil out. The only problem I would say about putting the veil in the middle of the style here is that it can spoil the hair. But she wanted to keep her veil in right through to the end of the evening, so she didn't mind it kind of flattening the hair a little bit, because you might find if you do put the veil in the middle of the curls, when she takes it out, there's going to be like a little separation where that veil has been sitting. And she could always tweak it. You know, if she has somebody that's good at working with hair, she could just move the hair around and fill up that space. But if she's not too sure, then it might be better to put it either beneath the bun or in front of the bun here. But it can certainly go there. But as I say, my client who wanted it there, Rana was my client who had a hairstyle like this, but just lots of little soft curls coming out of the style. And she had her veil in the middle. And actually, it fitted really well because it went into the top layer of the padding. So I got it to kind of just slid it kind of across the padding, almost like this. And if this was a comb here, and I just slid it so it kind of went through the padding, and I used my comb to help me nudge it kind of, it's just under the top layer. So it's not going into the padding, it's just going underneath that top layer. And then you've got the comb into the padding. So I hope that helped. I'm really glad you enjoyed the tutorials, Louisa. Thank you very much. I aim to please. If you have any styles you'd like to learn this year for your weddings, your brides coming up, please just send me your pictures. You can send them to me on Instagram, and you can get in touch. You can email me info@createbeautifulhair.com, or of course, you can send me a comment here on YouTube. Please don't forget to subscribe. We love our subscribers. And thank you again for joining me. Send me any styles that you might want to learn, and I'll fit them into the upcoming tutorials. Thank you very much, and I will see you soon. Take care. Let me find the button. That's it. I will see you in a week. Bye.